Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 9. We're up to episode 9 already of an old man looking at an old heavy metal magazine while drinking a cup of coffee on a Sunday afternoon. And to hand we always keep the New Wave of British Heavy Metal Encyclopedia by Mark Macmillan. Without any further ado, let's go on to February 11 to 24, because remember this came out twice a month now. 1982, still 50 pence, I still can't believe. This was everything you ever needed to know about heavy metal in 1982 for 50 pence. I will try and scan some of the stuff in as well. So who's on the front? As ever, there's an exclamation mark. After everything, I'm going to do this in one take. I'm going to breeze through it. We have the Rods, Priest, Van Halen, Scorpions. Well, I missed out THIN LIZZY, sorry, Scott Gorham. Foreigner, Girlschool, Tony Iommi, Sammy Hagar, Alice Cooper, Billy SQUIER, the Starfighters, and then you can win 25 UFO albums. So what's in Mayhem? It's in Mayhem. Now again, my camera will probably keep getting out of focus here because when I show you the magazine it goes out of focus. Iron Maiden are currently in the studio putting the finishing touches to the Martin Birch produced LP, The Number of the Beast. My favourite Iron Maiden album. Let me know what your favourite Iron Maiden album is in the comments. It's all about engagement, folks. Let's get up to 1,000 subscribers and then I'll maybe start doing these live on a Sunday. Pete Gill has left Saxon. Carmen Apici quit the Rod Stewart band. He's thrown in his lot with Ted Nugent. Crocus. I'll scan this in so you can read it at your leisure. Where Joe Elliott would like to make it clear that Gary Owens of the now defunct A to Z has never been a member of Def Leppard. Well, that's him told. Quo are still seeking a replacement for drummer John Coughlin. 720, I mentioned him in last week's episode. Paul Sampson. You got to love these headlines. Paul Sampson, I'll scan this, who's contemplating his 12-inch monster. It says here in the magazine. Who else do we have? Slade, Meatloaf, Jimmy Page, Glenn Tipton, and Frankie Howard. Maybe the only time that Frankie Howard ever appeared in Kerrang. Out of the Shadows. It's taken 8 years, but Scott Gorham's finally done it. Steve Gett talks to THIN LIZZY's guitarist, Scott Gorham. Full interview there, some pictures. Out of the Shadows. This interview. UFO mechanics. You mechanics will tighten your nuts, as they said. Mayhem, we're still continuing the Mayhem. Neil Sean. As an update on the Paul Raymond info carried in last issue of Kerrang, or in the last episode of this. It seems that the coming LP will feature guest appearances from most of MSG, who have still to replace singer Gary Barden, which he did shortly after this when the Graham Bonnet, and then he was thrown out, and then Gary Barden came in and did Reading. So what's the top 30? Here we go. Where are they now? Could this be Catweasel, or is this rather hairy personality somebody you'd all recognise in a more recent guise? I'll scan that in. Let me know. Tour news. Spider. Did I see Spider then? Maybe saw them the tour after that. Alice Cooper. Meatloaf, the Tigers of Pantang. Top cuts. Number 1 in the top cuts is Coming After You. Violation. American demo tape. There's Only One Way to Rock. I'll scan that in as well, so you can maybe go on Spotify and create your own Spotify playlist from that. This was a good album. Like a compilation of all these bands. I don't think Stingray were on it. On Carrera Records. I think they were a French label. Carrera Records. Armed and Ready. Armed and Ready. Always my favourite bit of these early Kerrangs. Who do we have? Titan. What band? Titan. Those Marshalls and Explorers and Flying V's. Titan. I'll scan these in for you. Stampede. I love Stampede. Really good. Lawrence. What a guitar player Lawrence is. Really, really good. guitar player. I've got the was it the live album, Live at the Mildenhall Festival, and live maybe Reading as well, is it? Black Facts. The original Sabbath lineup was one hell of a fine combination, but so is the current one, as Steve Gett finds out after a chat with Tony Iommi. It's the Sabbath lineup at that point in time. Tony looking cool. Well, the Rods. Who doesn't love the Rods, eh? Marvellous band. Like a heavy metal Ted Nugent. The Rods. Alice Cooper, like a whole... What does Alice say in 1973? I drink beer all day. I drink it as soon as I get up, before breakfast. I drink a case a day, which is about 25 large cans. Beer puts you in a good state of mind. You just don't get drunk on beer, just sort of permanently high. Now that is not any health advice from me or Alice Cooper, who quit drinking 1980 maybe. No longer a drinker. It's what does to you, folks. It's what does to you. Billy Squire. Stroke me. Undercover, Nick Kemp, Corners Budgie. Another great band, the guitar riffs. Tory Burch, was it? I saw his band after that in Bathgate. Tredegar. I think it was two people from Budgie. Crocus One Vice at a Time. Contact. Nothing too interesting there. Zagrot. Must have started doing cartoons at this point. Oh, here we go. I think this must be when they started reviewing albums. So please do let me know in the comments what you think of these. I'll scan this in because I would be here forever trying to read all this. But what are they reviewing? They're reviewing One Night at Budokan. What a classic live album that is. Girl Wasted Youth. Ted Nugent, Great Gonzos, like a greatest hits sort of thing. I've got that, it's good. Molly Hatchet, Take No Prisoners. Dave Lubeck, I think all of Molly Hatchet, all the original members are all gone. UFO Mechanics, The Rods. Oh, that's a classic album, that. Like I say, it's like Ted Nugent riffs, but done, I might get in trouble for this, but done heavier, almost, I think. Van Halen, cool Van Halen. Pick. David Lee Roth, looking very handsome. Ah, there he is, Robbo. One of my favourite players. Robbo, I mean, he's the melody, just the fluid playing that he has and his use, his control of the wah-wah pedal. What does Robbo say here? A good guitarist should be able to get a good sound whatever he's plugged into. It's a question of skill and subtlety, says Brian Robertson. Oh, dude. Brian Robertson, lots of bottle, because he did like a pint or two. What do we have here? Oh, and this is when they started reviewing concerts as well. This is where it starts getting really interesting, when you get album reviews and live reviews and stuff as well. So what do we have here? We have Ozzy. Not sure where that's from. Rock Goddess, The Marquee, 23rd of January 1982. Girl, St George's Hall in Bradford. Scan those in for you. A few adverts for stuff. Oh, more Armed and Ready. We have Rocks. Kevin Kickass Kozak. Along with Silverwing, Rocks are members of Manchester's own Glam Clan. Oh, that's right, they were called Venom. Having witnessed the Rocks of old, named at the time Venom, play one of the worst gigs I've ever had the misfortune to attend. Classless and corny. This is Howard Johnson saying that, not me, I never saw Rocks. Scandy says, Deadly Embrace. I don't know what happened to Deadly Embrace. Let's have a look here. Deadly Embrace. Did they ever release anything? I don't think so. Diamond Head. What's about Diamond Head? Deadly. And I'm trying to remember my alphabet, sorry folks. Deadly Embrace. I mean, I could have looked at the beginning and they would have told me. Sorry. Dealer. Deadly automatic run. No. Deadly embrace. It would appear, according to Malk Macmillan, did not release anything. Red Rider. Not much is known about Red Rider. They're a Canadian band brought to the attention of your man on the spot in the form of an excellent album as far as Siam. Don't know anything about them. And La Rocks, or LA Rocks. Ian Mitchell used to be in the Bay City Rollers. There you go. Shang-a-lang. Glenn Tipton. Sammy. Trans Am Highway Wonderland. All in red there with a strap. Zeppelin. Over the years. I won't scan any of these in because I'll probably get in trouble for copyrighted photographs. Shock Treatment. Girls' School. Look at the young Girls' School. Actually, girls at school there. Girls' School. Great band to this day. Really good band. Kim McAuliffe and Mickey Mouse. What have we got here? Pen pals. Well, read a pen pal, you know, like I've said in previous episodes, I don't want to embarrass anybody here 40 years after the fact. I'll maybe find one that I think is kind of amusing. I'll just read the first one I come to. Two very lonely, hairy hippies into Floyd, man, Hawkwind, Hendrix, Blue Oyster Cult and Sabs seek similar females who think Mr. Rizzler should be made Prime Minister and dig watching live bands for good conversation. I wouldn't give the address, but they call themselves the Lone Groover and Fat Freddy. I wonder how many people wrote to them. What do we have here? Scorpions, pile up. Scorpions pile up. Starfighters as well. Now let's get to the letters. Been a few angry ones. Been a few angry ones recently. Mr. Angry from Sunnyvale Trailer Park. Like I ended up doing in all my Sunday ones, you know, look away if you don't want to see Angus Young groping Bon Scott. Terrible behaviour from a couple of Australian Australians. Oh, I'll read the first one. What I'm going to do is, once I get to episode 10, once I've done the first 10 Kerrang, I'll go back and I'll maybe pick a couple of the angriest letters or funniest letters out of each of these. So this is the first letter in Kerrang issue, what did I say this was? 9. So here we go. Who is this joker? This clown? This imbecile? Big word, eh? Who has the guts to call Angus Young a bad word? Can he not feel the energy and feeling this kid puts into his solos, let alone the sense of humour? If anyone told us that Lemmy's grandfather, alias Francis Rossi, could play a solo of the complexity of Let There Be Rock while jumping off a PA or spinning round on his bum, we would laugh in his face. It is not only AC/DC's guitar that fills us with neck ache, but also the leering, taunting and teasing voice of the late Bon Scott, which was superseded by the gut-wrenching power of Brian Johnson, who could blast away the monotone mumbling of Parfit and Co. any day. So I'm guessing somebody must have written into last week's episode saying that Quo were better than AC/DC. Do you think Quo were better than AC/DC? Let me know in the comments. It's all about engagement, folks. As far as we are concerned, Angus will still be stamping bad-tempered feet, foaming at the mouth, and throwing off every stitch of his sweaty clothing long after the fogies and Co are collecting their pensions, if they aren't already. Age shaming. Right there, folks, in the pages of Kerrang. And on the back we have a folded over Louis Graham. Waiting for a girl like you, Louis Graham. So there you go, folks. That was episode 9, Kerrang. issue number 9 from February the 11th to the 24th of 1982, a bargain at 50 pence. I have scanned a lot of the stuff in so you can read it at your leisure. So, as ever, hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee on a Sunday for listening to an old man talk about heavy metal. Cheers for now.